Hey, yo, it's me, Pops Van Marmalade, and you're watching the Comics-Related Madness Network. Huh? So come get some. CromCon. CromCon.
The doctor is in, baby. This is Doc Blalock, and you're watching the Madness Comic Network.
First world, come in and take a seat. Pay us no attention, it's all conspiracy. We have satire and parody, some funny, some perverse. If none of it's offensive to you, you'd be the first.
And now for something completely different.
Fairview's coffee has mysteriously gone missing. Mayhem ensues when strange, coffee-craving zombies plague the city. Detective Mickey Potatoes, an overworked public servant, uncovers why ordinary citizens are losing their minds and how to stop the coffee apocalypse. But it involves the mafia. And when you're dealing with mafia crime families, nothing is ever easy. The mafia controls everything in the city, including the police, including him. If he breaks the mafia, they will break him. So, the city is without coffee. The city is burning before his very eyes, but he's powerless. Detective Potatoes has the power to stop the coffee apocalypse, but if he does, he could lose everything.
Oh, hell no. There you go, right there. Detective Potatoes, yo. You guys know him. He's one of our sponsors. You've seen him out here, the Dust Bunny Mafia. But now, the mob is taking over a whole different territory. Doc, where you at? They're going after your coffee, bro. They're going after your coffee. What's up, Bret? How you doing? Welcome to the show, everybody. This is Bret Giuliano. How
Thanks
you
for
doing?
having me. Doing well.
Oh, dude, you're always welcome here. You're one of the people that makes this happen, bro. So, how you doing today? Everything good? I mean, I see that your little ninja launch hasn't turned out too bad so far.
Yeah, I can't complain. I've did a secret kind of launch right after midnight and just kind of slipped things in. And when I woke up, I had already $300 in. And now we're about almost 12 hours in on day one and almost at $800. So we're trending quite nicely.
I'm assuming this is a friend of yours. Why don't you go ahead and introduce him?
Hey, everyone. This is a good friend of mine, Dan Bernstrom. He's also the co-author of Detective Potatoes. Dan and I have known each other for a long time. We were college roommates, and he's been a big supporter of the Dust Bunny Mafia. And yes.
Welcome to the show, Dan. How you doing, man?
I'm doing well. Thank you, Bret, for letting me know about this and letting me come in. I'm a college instructor and I'm between classes, and so
What do you teach?
What do you think I teach?
Come on, because we got a few professors in the madness right now. You would just be like another of the crowd, bro. We got like 4 or 5 of them now.
No way.
Yeah, we do.
This is
my co-host on Monday Madness. Rich is a professor at the Confetti Institute in Nottingham, England.
Okay.
And Doc Blalock, my co-host for CromCon, he's a teacher. He teaches at school. Chris Brown is a whole bunch of them, man. Whole bunch of them.
Wow. So I'm among friends. Like this works.
Yes.
No, I teach English.
Okay. That's okay. English is good. Art's better. English is good. They got to learn to communicate, bro. So we need people like you. Trust me.
Yeah.
One of the biggest problems that I see collaboration right here, and I see guys smiling. A lot of people don't communicate well, and that's why their collaborations don't always work. You know what I mean? It's like, or they fall apart after a couple issues or whatever. It's like, I like to see people smiling to get along with each other and know how to communicate and keep things flowing. You know?
Well, Bret's not being honest with you. Bret and I have known each other for a long time. We know each other so well, Bret, that we were roommates.
Oh, yeah.
We were college roommates, so I think we kind of learned how to deal with one another. Right. Bret more how to deal with me. I'm I think he mentioned I teach full time at a college. I'm a working writer, so I have two jobs as a working writer. So I have another book from a traditional publisher coming out in May. So Bret is really good at helping me stay focused, but and he's inspiring. This man works so hard, but he came up with Dust Bunny Mafia in college, and he that's where the germ came from. And he told me about this idea in our dorm room about, hey, what about this? And he's taking it all these years to where it is now. We have a few of his books. My kids love his art, and I am a bad friend. Bret asked me to get a picture of his comic books. They're torn to shreds. I mean, like, they've gone through those things over and over and over in beds, and kids reading them. And I'm like, well, kids are in love. Kids love Bret's art. Let's give them more.
There you go. So Bret, tell us a little bit about Detective Potatoes.
So this is originally, like Dan mentioned, this book is kind of brainchild. It's of both of us. One of the first things I remember in college when I pitched this to Dan is about the Dust Bunny Mafia. Is he actually told me, I love you and hate you for this idea. I wish I would have thought about it first.
Totally.
But what were you in college for that you guys were roommates?
I was actually a computer science major. Nothing, related to the art stuff. I originally wanted to be a graphic designer.
It's kind of related to the art stuff.
Yes, that's where it was. And then my very practical dad said, you're not going to make any money doing graphic arts. Do computer science and have the arts in the background. And so, but yeah, it just happened. I don't even remember exactly how. I know we had a roommate leave, and Dan, I don't remember exactly how he came to live with us, but that's kind of how we got to know each other there. I mean, we knew each other elsewhere in school and stuff, but Detective Potatoes is a noir, all ages detective novel, and it's interspersed with images, illustrations I created specifically for this book. It's a brand new story from the Dust Bunny Mafia set in the Dust Bunny Mafia world that follows Mickey Potatoes, this Dick Tracy-like pigeon character, and there's a coffee apocalypse. And so Dan came to me. I mean, we've been talking off and on, for years about doing a project together. And he came to sometime last year. It actually was like, hey, we're going to make this happen. And despite his other writing schedules and family life and everything, we collaborated on this so much. He's one of the few people that I would trust with my characters in a larger sense than just, a pinup or a guest strip here and there. And I love what he did with them. And I mean, we were brainstorming back and forth. We did full script reviews. He would send me the outlines. We'd talk through and be like, no, this character doesn't make sense doing that. What about adding this in? And so it's a, big collaboration. It wasn't just, here are my characters, go to work and then bring me the finished product.
So right away, there's a party foul because he spilled his coffee all over his desk in his trench coat. Right away. First thing, right? First thing. You guys know Doc runs the coffee shop on Saturday morning. That's the name of his show, right? The Coffee Shop. And he's a huge advocate for the finer coffees in life, right? Or whatever. I'm really surprised he has not showed up here yet, because I just figured that fits right into his show's theme. I know you plan on being on his show in the future, Bret. this idea. Why did you replace the drugs or prostitution or alcohol or whatever the mafia is into with coffee?
So I'll start and then I'll hand it over to Dan. One of the things is this book is all ages friendly. So it's unlike my main Dust Bunny Mafia, we wanted to do a more kid-friendly angle that we could get these books into schools and libraries and things like that. And just the idea of a mafia doesn't exactly have the best connotation. So we even though they're cute and adorable, guns and things like that, we needed a different angle. And so we wanted it to be all ages friendly, but more geared towards kids, but adults and kids at heart can enjoy. And so that's the one thing that I really was like, I don't touch drugs in my comic. I've made one passing reference to drugs, and I actually substituted it for jelly beans. But there are no drugs in the Dust Bunny Mafia world.
I just gave you your next plot twist over there in the private chat.
Well, I know. I think you're onto something. But Bret does touch drugs, like sugar, and he touches like this. He touches on the idea, and he does this with a lot of things. Like they go missing, and he doesn't really sometimes he shows them being off, getting whacked. But most of the time he's actually, which our kids appreciate, and they like the mystery, and they want to know what happened, which is very mafia, right? I like how you said coffee being the finer points of coffee, and so there's sugar, there's the jelly beans, there's coffee, there's multiple things the Dust Bunnies control. And I thought, wow, what a way to talk about when I was in middle school, our science teacher told us about citric acid. So our science teacher had a big tub of citric acid he would keep on his desk, and if we were good, he would give us a little bit of he'd go into his big tub of citric acid and spoon us up some in class, and then we would taste it. It was citric acid. It was really sour. So then there's a bunch of kids finding citric acid. Well, what did we do as a middle school? Well, we found out how to get citric acid online, and then we started selling it out of our lockers through these backdoor channels. So we had, there was no drugs involved, but we had a little racket going on.
Right.
And if the kids do this with candy, kids do this with all kinds of things, with Pokemon cards, or whatever kids are into these days. It's all, this is very what kids do. They understand wanting something, getting too much, trying to control a market, getting in over their heads. And I thought, let's add in those angles into this story. And I think it made for, I love the story. I think it really made for an engaging.
Now, everything I put over there in the private chat, you guys can use.
You're getting.
I got angles, man. I got angles. Look.
Awesome.
You guys can use those. You guys can use that angle. I'm just saying. I have fun with this, guys. I'm not a writer. I'm not a comic book creator. But, man, I have ideas. And as soon as somebody clicks on something that makes my mind start working, that's what happens right away. Nice. The ideas just start flowing. And sometimes I have no problem sharing those ideas, man. I love seeing stuff I came up with show up in people's comics. It's awesome, and I tell everybody, use that. Use it. If I gave you something, use it. Just roll with it. I don't care, because I just like to be entertained. This is great. The coffee angle. That's what triggered me going, oh, well, what about those cops? They gotta have their thing too. because we all know there's good cops and there's bad cops, right?
Which is what Bret really pushed me on. So Detective Potatoes, he's not a perfect detective. So he spills the coffee on his suit, and that's kind of a metaphor for, he's a dirty cop.
Uh-huh.
There's an audio clip that Bret has where Leo, the Dust Bunny Don, makes reference to, his dirty coat. And but the struggle for Potatoes, like he wants to do the right thing, but he's caught between his wants, he's caught between his maybe bureaucracy with his dad, and yet his desire to, he wants to do right, but he has vices. Bureaucracy doesn't help him. How is he going to make it? So you're right. The potatoes. So please support this project, because we have book 2 done, almost done. Bret's working on the art. We have book 2 done, and you're going to start to see kind of Detective Potatoes walk through this kind of treacherous path of, can he toe the line the right way?
Okay, so how is this a regular size book or because what I got from Bret in the past was the smaller, cartoonish, the cartoon size book. What size book is this? How many pages? Give us the rundown.
So it's 6x9. So it's more of a standard softcover, paperback size. 110 pages in print. We also are doing an EPUB, so a Kindle / e-reader digital download is also available for the campaign. The book is 100% done. We literally, assuming that we reached a minimum funding goal of $4,000, we slap the cover on and upload it, and we're ready to print. So
love that picture right there. Hey, the cops are out there, guys. The cops are outside. That's great. Pictures in character for the comic book. Look, do we have to call you the fedora, bro?
I mean,
hey, I know all about branding. Okay, I know all about using the hat for branding. Trust me, that's part of the game, definitely. This looks so much fun. Now, look, if you weren't in on Dust Bunny Mafia or know any of the stuff that Bret's put out in the past, it's all hilarious, guys. It's all fun. It's it's going to make you laugh. It's going to make you smile. And now that I know there's a legitimate writer involved, no, I'm kidding.
You would still want that funding, Pops? No.
I have to say this. Like, we usually, most of the people we meet that are teachers or whatever in this industry, it's on the other side. It's the art side. I think you're the first professor of English that I met. Somebody who actually has the credentials that's out here writing. You know what I mean? It's like, that's different for me. Usually it's an artist or somebody that teaches art at college that I run into doing this. So I'm kind of honored, Daniel. I think you're the first English professor I've ever met.
No, well, thank you. It was, I mean, yeah, just because you're published in a traditional, I'm published by HarperCollins Publishers, so I'm the largest publisher in New York. But just because of that doesn't mean that you can't have fun. And in publishing, it's pretty strict. So working with Bret, there's so much freedom that I can just kind of write and do whatever I want.
Brent is the best. That's our boy Wayne from the now Chicago outfit. He's changed his branding a little bit too. We had to redo the logo up here. So his logo is now the Chicago outfit. Mr. Big is gone. He got whacked.
He'll come back.
Mr. Big got whacked. He got whacked. So what was your favorite part of this project? Was it writing the story, doing the art, putting together the camp? Some people get more fun out of putting together their campaign than they actually do their project, because they're thinking about all the extra cool stuff they can add to it to get people interested and whatnot. And they end up losing themselves in the campaign, which to me is awesome. You know, I mean, you got the work done and you want to go crazy on a campaign, do it. You know, so what was your most favorite part of the whole project?
That's a tough one. I mean, I really enjoyed, our brainstorming sessions early on, and as the book progressed, just being able to be like, there's actually something coming together that I didn't have to write the whole thing, and then I could actually trust someone else to do it.
Right.
And just being like, the collaboration reminded me of, our college days, staying up late talking about, who knows what. And then more recently, my other favorite part was the campaign, all the different things that we came up with, from, in my Kickstarter campaigns, I do these poker chips. So we have 2 exclusive poker chips for this campaign, and that's kind of a spin-off of my other Kickstarters that's bleeding into this one. We've got some cool add-ons that are going to be revealed, and some new pledge levels that are going to be scattered throughout the campaign. So we also have a really cool plush character of Tommy Gunn, who's the squirrel detective who's partners with Mickey Potatoes. So I'm really excited for that one.
I like it. We got poker chips, we got stickers, we got a plushie. You can get the book signed, personalized, all that stuff. Do you have a retail tier, my friend?
Not at the moment, but if we certainly something we can consider.
This is the
rolling
way
out.
I look at it. Most comics are still sold on the shelves of comic book stores, right? So a retail tier, you put 10 books up for a discount, put it in a price range where a retailer can look at it and go, okay, I can still make some money off that. And then you let people know that have stores like Johnny and Fergal at Gotham Knights. We got a lot of comic book stores owners in the madness as well. And my goal has always been put these books in a place where I can just go get them and not pay $10 to have each one shipped to me.
Yep.
Okay, so I got to get you guys in the stores. In order to do that, you got to come with a price that a retailer can deal with. So you might not make $1 million off them retail books, but when they're sitting on the store shelf, more people are going to see them, even though they might not buy it that first time around. Then they see another one, and they realize that guy's for real and he's delivering, and they get involved. It's hard to get on board in the beginning with any new creator, and that's why I promote so many of them, because I want you guys to get that first leg up, where you get a chance to deliver and people know you fulfill. That is a big part of whether or not they hit the button, on a campaign, is whether or not they can count on that person to be somebody who fulfills. You already have shown that, Bret. So, this is when you take it to the next level and you start hitting those retailers up. You print up some extra books for cons or whatever, and then you do like Sam does. You call 5 retailers a day, 5 shops a day he calls, and hey, can I send you a PDF? Can I send you a hard copy? Can I interest you in putting my books on your comic store shelf? And that's where it goes. You work a price point that works for both parties, and you start putting your books on the store shelves. That's the next level, and that's still, like I said, that's still where most comic books are sold, out of the LCS, so for me, that's always been my goal, is try and help you guys get to that level, and that doesn't have to be big too. That just has to be you guys are somebody that the retailers can count on to deliver content, so they got stuff on their shelves to sell. You develop a rapport with them. They're all people. They're all approachable. They're people just like you. They need a product to sell. So as DC and Marvel sell less and less titles, that's more and more open shelf space. Take advantage of that. Start making them calls. Hey, yo. That's my best advice to anybody doing this. If Sam can do it, anybody can do it. He's in like 40 stores now or something, because he calls them and says, hey, this is what I got. Will you look at it? Maybe your customers will like something like this. And store owners know what their people buy. They know if it's something that their people are going to be interested in. They're not going to blow smoke up your ass. I mean, and tell you, yeah, we might be able to sell those or not. And you move on to the next one. It's not a rejection of your book. It's what their fan base will, what they consider sustainable to their fan base to keep their store running. That's what they're looking at, their bottom line. You got something that's kid friendly. All LCS stores like stuff that's kid friendly. I'm just saying.
Well, that's amazing advice. Thank you so much. And I'm all in behind Detective Potatoes, and I want to get this series out there to as many kids. And remember that comics are really important for helping kids learn how to read. So as kids start to move up, oftentimes we think of those early readers, but comic books actually fit between this book. So you would have like your early readers, like just helping them read, then comic books, and then this one, which would be a reluctant reader. So comic books are vital in the whole literacy area. Yeah.
My grandkids, comic books. Every time somebody drops out here with something that's kid friendly, Grandpa has to look at it a lot closer, because that's, I buy stuff for the kids too, not just for me, so I love the stuff that I can leave on the table and not worry about the kids coming by, picking it up, going, what's this, Grandpa? And me go, oh no, you can't look at that. You know what I mean? I like having this stack of comics laying here that the kids can look at. So, it's important. It's really important, especially, and you don't know how many people that have told me that comics is what helped them read. They were, they weren't into it or whatever, but that's what got them into it. So the medium has a purpose. It has a huge purpose for the youth of our nation, the youth of the world, really. So, hell, Pedro down in Panama, he does the Tropical Magics comic. He's like, they didn't have a lot, man, but we got whatever we could get our hands on. It's like that was part of their life. So support comics, everybody, especially the ones for the kids. I'm just saying. I know, Bret, I know you got to get back to work. Hey, anytime, you know what's up. We got lots of shows. You get out here, get seen. For all you other podcasters that haven't met Bret, reach out. He's in the madness. He's easy to find. If you can't find him, hit me up. I'll hook you up. Just like that. Daniel, it's great to meet you, brother.
You too.
Is this video the same one we played in the beginning, Bret?
Yes. Well, okay. That one is not the one below it is the same. That one's me actually explaining about the project.
Play this one then?
Sure.
Okay, I'm gonna play this one, and you guys can go ahead and leave if you want. I appreciate you coming out. Everybody go check out Detective Potatoes by our friend Bret Giuliano and Daniel. Like I said, it's great meeting you, man. Daniel Bergstrom, everybody, check him out. Go back this book, man.
Thank you.
How my dad
Thanks,
taught
Pops.
me to read comics. There you go. See, I have a picture of my son when he was like 2, sitting on my girlfriend's lap with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle comic. He was like 2. That's 30 years ago, you guys. Okay, yeah, he's still a huge Turtles fan. just take care of the kids, show them all this stuff. It matters. It really, really matters.
And their love for comics will never go away, right? So you can introduce it to them at a young age, and then they can always appreciate it for the rest of their life. How is that bad? Right?
And then they pass it on to their kids, grandkids. We don't have a next generation of comic creators if we don't have a next generation of comic readers. Make sure you make stuff for the kids. That's my final thought. It's great seeing you guys. I'm going to play this video and I'm going to be out. Peace.
Hey everyone, I'm Bret Giuliano, and I'm here to tell you about my latest Kickstarter project, Detective Potatoes, Case of the Coffee Apocalypse. Fairview's coffee has mysteriously gone missing, and mayhem ensues when strange coffee-craving zombies plague the Dust Bunny Mafia city. This is an all-ages detective novel set in my Dust Bunny Mafia universe, written by the critically acclaimed author of 6 picture books, Daniel Bernstrom, and illustrated by me. The funds for this project will go towards the production of printing several hundred books. This book is 100% complete and nearly ready to go to print. What we need from you is your help in spreading the word and pledging to make this next book a reality. Thanks for watching and for your support.
How do you end this thing? How do you put the there was the brakes on this bus? I forgot.
Jazz hands. Jazz hands are done.
Comic Books for Kids provides comic books to kids in hospitals and cancer centers across the U.S. It's a place where we can all work together to make sure every child has a comic book. 100% of all proceeds go towards the kids. It's about making a difference, and while they're in the hospital, allowing them to fly like a superhero, battle dragons, or rescue teddy bears. We are in every state in the country and now support over 160 hospitals. Every month, we add more.